Look, I did it.
Good
Good
job.
afternoon, everybody. I know I've live streamed to Facebook. I got the Zoom working. Good afternoon, She Spark Society. I am your host for the week, Kimmy, and today is our Tuesday speaker meeting. We have an awesome guest, Allison Barnett. So I'm not going to attempt to butcher your background. I'm going to let you do that for me. So my favorite question to ask people, obviously you're in real estate and we'll get into your specialty in a second, but birth to real estate in 5 minutes or less. How'd you get here?
I decided not to practice law after graduating with honors from law school.
I'm sure your parents
and decided to make my parents extremely proud by going into real estate. But my undergrad is broadcasting. And so, I'm all about having fun and getting to this point. I've actually been in real estate for over 20 years. And it is a lifelong journey of tripping over my own feet, learning lessons, being in working with new builders. And it's a passion. So that got me to today. And then, along the way, I discovered new gifts and talents that I'm sure we'll get into.
Awesome. So let's just talk like personal life. So where were you born and raised and where do you live now?
All right. So I was born in Brooklyn, New York, and then raised partially on Long Island and then partially in Georgia. And now I am still in Atlanta, Georgia, married a Georgia boy. So kind of balances out the obnoxious New Yorker with the redneck, which literally adds up to having no filter.
Awesome. I did catch a little bit of the accent there when you were telling the names of the places. So awesome. So you kind of said, so you went to college and then you said you went to law school. And did you practice law?
I never practiced law. I don't play politics very well. I actually paid my way through law school, working in the court systems. I had every intention of going into either criminal or divorce law, but I was getting married at the time and realized most divorce attorneys were divorced for a reason. They're around misery all the time. There's a lot of politics involved that I just wasn't into. My husband will tell you he knew I would never practice. And looking back, the energy was all wrong. And because I am very much an energy aware person, it was a world I didn't fit into. I don't think that way, but it is a great background to have in real estate.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so then you said 20 years in real estate. That's really impressive. So can you kind of summarize your trajectory? Like, I assume you were an individual agent. Were you ever on a team? Like, how has your career kind of evolved over the 20 years?
So I have always been an independent agent. I probably should have joined a team years ago looking back, but I got into real estate, I think the year Google came out. So it was a totally different lifestyle back then and very different, very corporate. And I quickly learned that it was building a business. And while I have entrepreneurs in the family, I was not necessarily prepared to build my business. And there weren't really teams at the time in my area anyway. So I went and worked for new home builders and loved it. Other than that, they own every bit of your time. I really enjoyed working with builders. I learned so much about construction. My husband was in the building industry also, so it made sense to me. I learned to run sales teams, ran design studios, and that was my background for probably a solid 10 years until 2008's market crashed. And there was no such thing as builders or real estate, really. And I didn't want to play the REO game. It was ugly. People were struggling. My own family was struggling because that was our industry. I mean, we were no longer making any money. And so I got out of it for a little while and did consulting work and commercial, and kind of laid low in the commercial arena for a while, which is very much a good old boy system. So when I said that I don't do well with politics, I didn't do well in politics. And then I wound up having a lot of people come back to me because they were like, hey, I need your help. My realtor's not paying attention to me, or they're not listening, or I need you to mediate for me. And so they were paying me plus their realtor. And I was like, okay, it just makes more sense to go back into residential. And so here I am. And so it's been a windy road, but I've always been independent. I've been with big brokerages, little brokerages, and they're all so different. And I've learned that it is very much what you need now and who you surround yourself with that will affect your success.
I love that. So many good things. So what does your business look like now? Like what in the last year, like how heavy are you in production? I know you do some coaching stuff. So what does it kind of look like now, 20 years later?
20 years later, it's fun. Because along the way, I realized that I'm one of those weird people who's part psychic, intuitive. So I do energy shifting and channeling and home clearings and all that weird woo-woo voodoo stuff that some people, think are crazy. But I realized that I didn't fit into the box. And that's what a lot of agents really do, is they try and fit into this perfect box of cold calling and open houses, and we're supposed to do business one way. And I mean, I'm now in my 50s, so you really learn to lose your filter as you get older, especially women. I used to, side note, have a friend who'd say, "Man, women in their 40s are mean." No, once we hit 40, we realize it's just that you get to take the filter off and say whatever the heck you want to say. So now I'm in my 50s. It's really cool because I'm part psychic. I can read through BS and I get to say whatever I want to say. So you tend to draw in your people by your energy. So as you become your authentic self, you're drawing in those people. So my business is booming, but it's booming with people who also have no filter, make quick decisions, and live that type of lifestyle.
Beth is giving you like major high fives over there. I remember Beth, you had the one client you were going to gift like a house clearing to. So I feel like you and Beth are on the same vibes. But I love that. So, I mean, so specifically, so are you still in production or do you gravitate? Okay. So, and do you do coaching as well?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm a workaholic. I'll admit it. I love it. I love the game and how, every deal is different. Every person is different. And so I stay in production. I'm working at midnight half the time, trying to make everything happen. And then I do coaching on the side. So, which is another full-time business, but that's a very controlled business because it's based on certain hour time slots versus real estate is kind of a deck of cards, and however you just want to throw it up in the air that day is how it's happening.
Yeah, totally. Okay. Well, let's dig in. So I kind of asked you what you like to talk about and you called it magical mindset.
Yes.
What does that mean?
So I already touched base on the fact that I'm into psychic energy, all that stuff. What I have learned though is that all of us have intuition. You always have that vibe of, oh, that person makes me a little nervous or uncomfortable, or I really shouldn't have made that left turn. We all have it. It's just a matter of putting it to use for ourselves and in our business. And so when you tap into your own magic, what you believe in for yourself, the person that you want to present to the world, the more your business will succeed, the more you will thrive because you naturally draw in energy. So for anybody who's not familiar with energy, if you think about AM radio and how they're static half the time, and then FM radio, you can tune in, but you're going to have your commercials and you're not always going to hear your favorite songs. And then there's Sirius XM, where you just tune into exactly what you want to listen to. Same thing applies to energy and people. And we're all energy, and money is energy, and clients are energy. So what you do is you realize and you focus in on you. What do you like? The type of people you want to be around, the type of business you want to create for others. For me, I'm very much a busy professional, get it done, let's skip the drama type of person. That's my clientele because I'm that type of person. So finding my own strengths and my own personality, I can then say, okay, these are my people. So how do I draw in my people? And you focus in on your magic because you're now tuning in to Sirius XM, the Allison station, the Beth station, the Jasmine station, whatever it is. Your station has your people. So start being your authentic self and you can grow into that.
I love that. And I feel like it kind of taps into, we always tell people, like, if you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. So we always tell people, like, niche down, like, find your people. And also we had someone to speak about lead generation, and she said, if you're not enjoying it, if you're not talking to your people, if you haven't found your people, you're doing it wrong. Find the people you want to be in business with and kind of evolve from there. So I love that. So where do you even start? So if someone who wants to coach with you or kind of wants to grow their business, like how do you kind of dig in and
So
get the session started?
here's where you start. You push limits. For example, I worked with a big box brokerage. And in my area, they wore the perfect outfits, the perfect heels, the perfect listing presentations. They went to those coaches that were the wake up at 5 a.m. and, do your exercise and whatever else you're supposed to do at 5 a.m. Because personally, I didn't know 5 a.m. existed. And so, and I would show up to our meetings in yoga pants and hoodies. Why? Because meetings were at 8. I'm not really a morning person. My clients aren't really morning people. So I would just show up and they would just give me this look like, what are you doing here? Why are you, how are you even making money? But my clients might be buying $1 million home wearing a tracksuit and gold, which has happened for real. And so they don't care what I'm showing up in. It was about them. And so I realized when I left there, because I felt like I was suffocating and they didn't understand me. And they were like, you should use this coach. And I'm like, why would I use that coach? They don't understand me. I want the coach that talks magic. And so I was battling the system. It's almost like your 5-year-old not wanting to go to sleep. I was battling the traditional system. And so I found a place with my people. And when I changed to a brokerage that was more my style, my business exploded because it was people who understood you could sell homes in t-shirts. You could drop F-bombs if that was your style with your people, because you can't say the wrong thing to the right person and you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. So you may as well just be you. So it all starts with being comfortable in who you are. If you are putting on the 6-inch heels to look perfect to sell luxury and you are so uncomfortable talking to those people and walking into those homes, stop. Go work with a new home buyer who's clueless that you can mom their way through. And they're going to be so grateful for your knowledge. And you're going to be so grateful that they don't have egos all over themselves. If you love working with seniors, work with seniors, but it's who you are at your core that really is going to say how you should do your business. If you're not comfortable talking to people, don't do cold calls or open houses. It doesn't make sense. You'd want to do the corporate reloads. So it really start with you. Once you start with you, then you can build out from there, but you're also naturally attracting those people because you're speaking to them.
Okay. So say you have a client, a newer agent, and they've identified their niche, or let's say they're an older age or, and they want to do seniors and they're like, okay, I'm in the 55 plus community. I want to do 55 plus.
Yep.
Now what? Like they're brand new. They don't have any book of business. Like how do they use that energy to reach their people?
So our energy creates passion. So what's going to happen is if your passion is seniors and they decide they want to focus on seniors, you're going to deep dive into it. You're going to learn everything there is to know about probate, estate sales, taxation, all the things related to pension plans, things that seniors are affected by, how to coupon, how to handle sickness, how to handle trusts and estates. You're going to deep dive into everything around that avatar, that person, just like we have to with older parents. And when you start going into that, then you're able to have those conversations. Then volunteer in a senior center. Talk to seniors, see what they're feeling. What are their worries? Go to an estate attorney and say, hey, what are you running into? What are people clueless about when handling their parents' estates? The more you can deep dive into what you're passionate about, you don't feel it's work because you love it. You're learning how to help people. And then you're taking all that information and you can make a packet of information on how to handle estate sales, how to work with older parents, how to clean out your house and still preserve memories, whether it's photo books or t-shirt quilts or whatever it may be. And when you have that book of information, you're a resource. And when you become a resource to help people, they start coming to you. So then it's very easy to get on social media and do a post or do a video about what you've learned that day. And you start becoming the expert. And the more you become the expert about something you love, the easier it is to just naturally have those clients falling into your lap.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So I guess for you specifically, so I assume you've identified some sort of niche, but you do also talk about unconventional methods like house clearing and psychic and all that stuff. So say you in particular have identified your niche, like how do you teach your clients to kind of utilize that? Or I guess you specifically first.
So for me, and I tell all of my clients to do the exact same thing. So it's basically the same, the same question. My niche is busy professionals. I handle everything. I offer concierge service. There, for example, my sorority sister, who I live 10 minutes from and haven't seen in 20 years other than passing in the grocery store because we're both busy people, calls me up and says, hey, I need you to handle my mom's house. I can't handle her. I'm too busy. I'll sign whatever paperwork you need, but keep me out of it. That's my client. They get out of my way, let me do my job, and then I cater to them. So I'm spoiling them with cookies and food during move-ins, but they stay out of my way so I could help them get to the finish line, whether it's buying or selling a home. So for me, I spend time talking to busy professionals. I'm at those networking events. I'm dealing with it. Now, energetically, I'm a busy professional. I get the mindset. So my frustrations are their frustrations. Now, energetically, what I do is, are any of you guys energy people? I know one of you are. Okay. Start your day taking a deep breath. You start your day, and I tell every client, start your day taking a deep breath. Then if you picture like an oak tree has huge roots. It is going nowhere versus a willow sways in the wind. You need to be the oak tree in your own life and in your business. So you have deep roots. That's your knowledge. That's your power. You have those roots. You are 100%. And then your leaves and your branches can grow from there. So you get really rooted in who you are. And then you ask for people to come to you. And so I literally tell my clients every single day, write down what you want. So I want 3 closings a month. And I want clients who, and I actually did this. I wanted clients at a certain price point who were fun, friendly, would want to go to dinner and hang out, who would refer often, close quickly, and had enough money that they could buy a home without selling their home. Literally wrote that down. Then I started writing every single night, which is what I tell my coaching clients to do, how grateful I am that I receive my ideal clients who are fun, friendly, have money to sell and buy homes easily, who refer often and want to hang out. I am grateful for it every single day, at least 4 times before I go to bed, and they'll fall into your lap. I promise you, if you do this, it will start falling into your lap. So I ground myself, and then I ask the universe, God, the purple unicorn, whatever you believe in, because I don't discriminate, for it. So I will literally say, okay, God, I want another client. And I want the client who's the busy professional who gets out of my way, lets me do my best job for them, and then will refer me to everybody around them. And then I write down, I'm so grateful that I already received it. How cool is that? I got it yesterday. And this is my pattern. And this is my base of business. Your mindset, you being grounded in who you are and what you want, allows you to get exactly what you want. So if you think of going to a steakhouse and you order a steak and you're like, I want a steak and a potato and a vegetable. And the server comes and they bring you a sirloin, a sweet potato, and Brussels sprouts. And you're like, oh man, I know I said I wanted that, but I really wanted the filet mignon and the baked potato and broccoli. And they're like, fine. So they come back with your filet, baked potato, and broccoli. And you're like, oh, wait, hang on. I actually wanted the filet medium, the baked potato loaded, and the broccoli with Parmesan on top. That's what's happening to you with what you're wanting in your business and what you want out of life and how you're working with the universe. You're asking for what you want, but then you're like, oh, I didn't quite want that. And then they're giving it to you on a silver platter and you're like, oh, but I didn't quite want that person. They're a little bit of a pain in the ass for me. No, we're not going there. So they're handing you the silver platter, but then you keep putting up a wall going, wait, I don't want it. Wait, that's wrong. So the more you know exactly what you want, the easier it is to request it, the easier it is to receive it. It's magic.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Beth, did you have a question a while back?
I did, and I didn't know if you were trying to wait till the end, but I'm curious how you frame that to your clients, or if you even do. Like, if you let them know, I am really great at helping busy professionals, but you probably don't say like, I want someone who's going to, be fun and friendly and refer me out quickly and can easily sell and buy homes without having to sell something and then gets out of my way. Like, so there's probably a way you do frame it, but lets them know how you best serve.
So that is my order to the universe.
I know. Yeah.
That's my word. And I actually wrote that down. 2 days later, a friend of mine needed me to cover in a new home community for her. In walks this couple, super cool. They have an agent. I'm like, cool. I'm just hanging out, helping a friend. I give them my card at the end and said, hey, you're cool. Let's go to dinner sometime. We live like 5 minutes apart. A week later, I was selling their home. So that's your order to the universe. Now, to my clients, I walk in being super cool, saying, hey, I know you're busy. So my job, you may be talking to other agents. I'm not bothering you with a PowerPoint listing presentation. I like getting down to business and laying cards on the table. What do you need from me? How can I serve you? Because the reality is, the less drama we have in your transaction, the easier your life's going to be. And I could see that you're drowning in your 5 children. So hand this off to me. Tell me what you need and let's make it happen. So I literally am super casual. I'm unconventional. I don't do PowerPoints. I don't walk in with an agenda other than how can I help you? Show me your house and what do we need to do?
I love that because it just seems like you're radiating authenticity.
Yes. And
You're
that's
cutting all the bullshit out and you're just like,
yes.
Boom, here I am. Let's go.
And that's the problem in real estate, is that we are working with, and understandably, people have been in the industry forever. They have a box and they love to work with the same box of tricks. But the reality is the box no longer works. It doesn't fit 90% of us. The more you can be yourself, though, and say, I mean, if you're a busy mom who does real estate, you working with families is your ideal client because you get it. You understand their pain. You're like, hey, I'm going to give you this Chick-fil-A gift card. Go take your kids to Chick-fil-A for a little while. Let me handle the inspector, and then I'll get back with you and we'll review everything. The more you can identify with your people, which is why they're your people, the easier it is just to be yourself and skip all that extra stuff.
Cool. I think that answers Beth's question. But so, okay, so to Beth's question, so you don't brand yourself that way necessarily. You're making this ask of the universe and it's kind of coming to you. So do you brand yourself in any particular way to try and drive traffic, or just, like you said, kind of just be your authentic self? And
I love this question because I suck at branding. Marketing is not my forte. I have yet to figure out colors that I love 20 years later. So I'm just me. And so I've realized that I'm a little more black and white. So I probably should have black and white as most of my colors. And I do put out that I am an intuitive realtor for a high frequency busy professional. That usually means absolutely nothing to 90% of the people who are sent my way, but it's there for the one person who understands frequency or who understands busy professional. So it's there on my Facebook page, or it's there on my YouTube video. But as a whole, I'm Allison. This is what I offer. This is who I am. You like me or you don't.
I think that's super smart. Like you have those keywords, like you said, and someone's going to pick up on it or they're not. You know, if someone doesn't understand that, they're just going to breeze over it and they'll be like, cool.
Yeah,
Busy people. She knows me.
exactly. And now some people, I mean, it might turn them off. And it's the same thing of, are you afraid of turning away business? Yes, we all are afraid of turning away business. We want it all. My husband's like, can you please stop talking magic with people? It makes them, you know, it might make them uncomfortable. And I'm like, dude, it makes you uncomfortable. Doesn't make them uncomfortable. And then I'm talking to a lady who's like, oh, I'm Haitian. And yeah, I totally understand that, you know, spirits are coming. Or the person who is like, I have a bad feeling about this house. Great. If you have a bad feeling, we're not seeing the house. I just go with it because I understand that about them. Whereas somebody else, you'll have the agent who's like, oh no, we set the appointment. We have to see that house. Just send a text saying we're not seeing the house. So it's really just tuning into yourself and your people.
Yeah, so that's kind of jogs the question for me. So are you so kind of protective over your business that, so do you turn away business that doesn't fit your kind of, you know, niche busy person, or how do you handle business you attract that's not necessarily your ideal client?
So this has always been my frustration with people talking about niching down, because in reality, niching down can cause just as many problems as not having one. For example, you live in an area that, like, I've been doing real estate for 20 plus years. So my area used to be my niche, but then people move out of the area and they have kids who move out of the area. I'm not going to turn away past clients because they're no longer in my niche. And so your niche is who you are and your ideal clients. But when they refer somebody to you, of course, you're going to take care of them. It's just an amplifier. So now, to me, anyway, a niche is your amplifier. That's who, if you could just say exactly what I want to work with, that's my niche. But those people know people who I'm still willing to work with. I will say there are people I won't work with. If they are, if their energy seems really off to me, that I'm feeling frustration from the very first conversation, that's somebody I will probably refer out because it's probably not going to get any better for me. And I've learned that if it's uncomfortable at the start, it's going to be uncomfortable at the end. Engineers, even though they're very busy professionals, there's a certain type of engineer that requires so much data that I don't deal well with that. I don't hand over CMAs. I do my work. I know my numbers. You either trust me or you don't. So that person is not going to handle working with me very well because I'm going to be speaking big picture and they're trying to get into that tiny fine print. So that's a person who needs somebody who speaks their language. But overall, again, the more you are authentic to yourself, you're going to gain a reputation for, oh, Allison's really cool and she makes it easy for you. So just go work with her. You'll never want to go anywhere else because the experience is just so much easier. Those people know people like them. And so it's very rare, other than when I'm taking leads, random leads, which we all do, that it winds up outside of that comfort zone.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you said you're not that great at marketing, but kind of going back, because so most of our group, and I don't want to speak for everybody, but new-ish, 5 years or less-ish of realtors. So, what's your advice to coaching clients on marketing? You mentioned YouTube. Do you do YouTube?
I do YouTube. I'm not consistent enough, but I'm working on that. My advice. So when I coach people, I do channeled coaching, which means instead of me being the traditional coach who says, we're going to make 10 calls a day, we're going to do 3 note cards a day, and we're going to throw one party a month. And then there's an accountability system. My style is much more, what are you needing? Because usually it's your energy and you're in your own way. So we have to get you out of your own way. And then whatever comes through from the universe is the guided system. And so it kind of winds up being really funny that I'll talk systems or marketing with some people. And then I'm like, I don't know where it came from because I don't do it, but it sounds really good. So I would follow that because it's not for me. But for new people in general, keep it simple. Keep it simple. So your basic marketing of yourself should be what you love. Find one social media form. It could be Facebook, it could be YouTube, it could be TikTok, and really be consistent on it and build a base there. Make friends. I had a coach actually tell me I needed to make more friends because I'm like, I don't know enough people to be doing 50 handshakes a day. And he's like, then you need to meet more people. So it's okay to reach out to somebody and say, hey, I love your video. That's really cool. Where did you get the inspiration for, pretending you're Wendy's Frosty? Something like that you can reach out to people. So when you were first starting out, if I were starting all over again, I would first know myself well enough to know what direction I really want to go into. And meaning that, am I going to fit into this box of I want to do open houses or phone calls, or am I going to want to start on the social media course because I like videos? Know yourself well enough to start choosing. And then make sure that you're doing something every single day. It's really easy in this business to be busy and unproductive at the exact same time. So have your checklist. I'm not a time blocker. I'm a checklist person. Have I made a video? Check. Have I sent out the note cards? Check. Have I gone to a networking event or learned something new about listings or something about seniors? Check. I do checklists, and then start putting yourself out there. So we now have this awesome thing called AI, and you can literally get on AI and say, what are the top 5 things that people ask about when wanting to market to seniors, or what are the top 5 problems that seniors run into? And then just start making videos. And when I say start making videos, skip the Steven Spielberg version, get out your phone, put on a little bit of lipstick and some earrings, you're cute enough, and take a video. Because it's content, and most of the time people are listening, not watching. Just do it. And the more you can just do it, the more you're going to be comfortable doing more. You don't have to put money into it. And then do your grateful list. How grateful are you? If you are grateful, get out an entire notebook. I like the college ruled one. Every day, and every one of my clients does this, every day, they have to fill out the notebook sheet with what they're grateful for. I am grateful for my iced tea because it's my version of Prozac. I am grateful that my husband didn't open a garage door during this meeting. I am grateful that I met new cool people. I am so grateful that I closed a deal. I am so grateful that I just received an amazing referral that I might not have received yet, but I'm putting it in there because I'm fully expecting it. And we do that over and over and over again. So if you can be grateful and authentic, and then do a couple of things every single day on your checklist, you are going to succeed.
Yeah, I think that's so smart. I read a lot of books, and it's kind of like we always hear these common themes, right? Gratitude and mindset and keep it simple. And I feel like I hear it over and over again. It's just like, but yeah, we still try and sometimes overcomplicate it. But I love that you're reinforcing that, especially from coming from 20 years in the business. That's so powerful.
And the reality is people talk mindset, but people think positive vibes are being happy all the time. And it's not. It's about being authentic. If you're pissed off, do a video about how mad you are about what happened. If you're happy, do that. The more real, people are craving real people right now. So that's where, when you talk mindset and energy or law of attraction, for any people who deep dive into that, it is all about how authentic you are and knowing what you want. I will say the other thing, one of my favorite things to do, Hank of Ink, you can YouTube a video of him. He has a process called 50-25-1. So if you are a CRM flunky like me, 50-25-1 is a human version of a CRM. 50 waves, meaning you're liking people's Facebook posts. 20 high fives, meaning that you've commented, 5 decent text or personal conversations, and 1 conversation a day that is memorable, that you would share with a friend, that you would write in a journal. Hey, this was a really cool person I met. 50, 25, 1, YouTube it. But it is a very successful, simple system.
I like that. So you go as far as saying like in a category, like your category you just described as like social media. But if someone's a people person, they can have, apply this in any way.
Absolutely. You're at the pool with your kids. Wave. How are you?
Literally 50 waves.
Yeah, 50 waves.
Waving at
50.
everybody.
Do people see you? Because that's really your branding. Like, I don't have a perfect branding package, but do they see you? When you're at the pool, do they go, oh, hey, I recognize her. She's the realtor. Do you hand out chapstick or suntan lotions? Whatever it is that is capturing attention. If you do a video and it gets 100 comments, or you throw a party for somebody, or your family member, and you have a neighborhood block party and people are seeing you, that counts. It's all about just putting yourself out there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Kirsten, did you have a question? Please drive safely.
Sorry, driving and trying to unmute. And I'm sorry if you covered this.
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit. Oh.
But do you do anything with?
Oh, okay, we lost her. Well, if she comes back.
Can you hear me, Kimmy?
I can hear you now, but we didn't hear anything else you said, so start over.
Okay. All right, I'm just gonna keep my video off in case it stinks. I blame Mills Gap Road. So with your page
All right, we lost her again. So yeah, so I'm gonna mute her. Can I just silence her?
At least it was funny.
now
Oh no.
things you are
Kirsten,
grateful for, and I apologize if you covered this and I missed it, but do you do anything with those previous?
Do I do anything with those previous
gratitude pages? Do you review them? Do you ever look back at them?
No. And
Okay.
It is because the more you do it, the worse your handwriting becomes. Now, some people do. There's a difference between journaling and gratitude lists. If you are journaling to remember what has happened today, write neat. And that is something that's really cool to look back at a year from now and go, wow, I was journaling that my intention was to have 5 closings every month. And look at me, I'm now doing it. But when it's gratitude, it is literally just putting it out there. And I like to just write it because it's also very soothing and it's good energy. When you speak and write, it amplifies energy. But no, I can't even read half the stuff that I'm writing down that I'm grateful for. And I may actually fall asleep sometimes in the middle of my lists because I do it right before I go to sleep, because it's when my walls are down the most and I'm more likely to receive more messages that way or have more clarity. And so a lot of times when you're doing your gratitude list, you may have an idea pop into your head. Make sure to write it to the side because you're like, I'm so grateful that we had the best day and I met the coolest people. And then you'll say, I may need to send them a note. I may need to send them a note to go grab coffee next week. It's going to pop into your head because that's when you're open to it.
Yeah, I love that. Now I'm going some down rabbit holes in my head. What other things do you do in your day? Like, are you a meditation person, a yoga person, workout, like any other ways that you structure your day that someone can kind of glean inspiration from?
So I am all about simplicity. So one of my favorite things to do every day is throw stuff away. We have so much stuff, junk drawers, closets, everything else. If you feel stagnant, throw away half the Post-its you probably have sitting on your desk, because you haven't looked at them in 6 months. So when you are throwing stuff away, it is actually making room for more energy, for more things to come in. So all that stagnant stuff that's in your junk drawer, that shirt that you said you might wear in 5 years, get rid of it, donate it, because you want to make room for more. So trash day is my favorite day. I'm always throwing stuff away. And anytime I'm feeling like I'm not able to connect with myself, with my goal, I'm feeling frustrated, tossing is first on the list. So purging is really big for me. Meditation. So I'm probably going to be one of the very few woo people who will ever say that meditation is not necessary. And when I say that, I say it loosely. Most people think that meditation is sitting still and waiting for information and clearing your head to the point of sheer emptiness. But we are busy professionals. If you are in real estate, if you're in business for yourself, it is because you multitask, juggle really well, and like a challenge. More than likely, you are doing something and thinking about your grocery list at the same time. We don't shut down as humans very easily. We have social media, we have our phones going off, but you can take a walk. When you're baking and you're stirring something, or you're cooking and you're just making the same meal and it's just by rote. When you are driving, which is the most dangerous time, but when you're driving, half the time we'll get from point A to point B and we don't remember how we got there. Or we're like, did they change this road? Because this looks different to me. It's because your mind is wandering. Those are moments of meditation. And so those are moments when you can quiet your mind because you're baking, you're rocking, you're taking a walk, you're taking a shower. How many of us wake up first thing in the morning and we get in the shower and, oh my gosh, the shower is the most brilliant place because all answers come in the shower. You go to sleep with a worry, you wake up, you take a shower, and there you go, you have your answer. I've written more term papers in college in a shower. So those moments are meditation. And so if you can enjoy those moments and be present, and I really don't like the word be present or the saying, but if you can be in that moment of the stirring and just relaxing and enjoying making cookies, you're opening yourself up to the receiving.
I actually really appreciate you say that. Like, speaks to me because exactly, I hate meditation. I'm so bad at it because I can't turn my brain off. But if I want to listen to a podcast or something, I have to do something else to pay attention. Do the dishes, something mundane, cleaning. So if I'm not multitasking, I cannot pay attention to like my mind per se. So that's like the first person I've ever heard say that.
I actually have told plenty of people, get on an exercise bike to do a guided meditation. Because if your body is doing something, your mind can shut down. But when you're so busy being busy, none of us can sit still for 5 minutes, much less quiet our brain.
Yeah, and that just speaks to our profession because like you said, as realtors, like you kind of have to multitask. So it's so unnatural for someone to be like, sit still, like do this. I mean, sure, if that works for you, great. But to just give someone permission to be like, yeah, get on an exercise bike or go for a walk. Like that's awesome. That's such a good
Literally hang up the
tip.
phone with a client, go outside. I've had to do this actually after meetings. I'll literally say, excuse myself, walk outside, take a deep breath, ground myself again before going back in, because that one moment of peace is the equivalent to somebody's 30 minutes of meditating and being still. Because what I do when I'm sitting, I'm going through the grocery list. I have my to-do list. Who haven't I called? And it winds up being a meditation of everything I haven't accomplished. So don't go down that. Busy people don't need to sit still. You just need to do something. So yeah, exercise bike, take a walk, put it on. My other favorite thing to do is frequency music. Again, you can look it up on YouTube. Frequency music is fantastic for receiving. If you're prone to seizures, be careful because there's binary sounds and a lot of different movement in those sounds. But frequency music actually can help elevate your spirit to a receiving. So a lot of times you'll say, it'll say like frequency music to receive more money or for miracles. And that's just moving your energy. And so for those of you who are unfamiliar with energy, if you've ever walked into a grocery store in the best mood and you walk out totally pissed off, anybody that happened to? Or you pick up and you're just like cranky because somebody's got like the 100 coupons and they're asking questions, then your credit card's turned down. You're like, what happened? I was just in this really great mood. And now I'm like freaking out and I have to cook dinner and I'm running 15 minutes late. You've picked up other people's energy. So my other favorite thing to do during the day is sage. You can buy loose leaf sage on Amazon. I'm more than happy to send you guys a link. And I sage my energy. So when I come home from a grocery store, when I go out to a client's house and then come home, I always sage myself, my purse, and my phone because it clears energy. It was used in ancient times for purity purposes, and purifying the air, purifying the energy, depending on who you're talking to. But sage is great for rebalancing. If you ever have the ookies in your house or your life, sage works great. My dog asks for it. My husband's like, yep, we need to sage the house. Something's not right here. And it also creates that recalibration for you. So sage, frequency music, pretend meditation, and gratefulness are probably the energies that go into success. And then after that, just be you.
I literally just bought sage on Amazon. I was like, oh no, Beth, you're gonna come sage my house, okay?
I know I'm going to do an energy clearing course. Maybe you have some. Allison, I'm in love with you. Thank you so much for coming to talk to us. And I'm so, Kimmy, did you get her? That's awesome. This is right up my alley. I did a whole retreat this last weekend with Sunny Dawn Johnson, and I learned so much, and I have like so totally like reconfigured my life this last 2 days,
awesome.
so that I can tap in more. And I'm so glad to hear all this. This is just really validating right now because I'm like, woo.
And for any of you that are interested, I have a free Facebook group called Next Level Moves. It's for business people, not necessarily just realtors, but for business people to tap into their energy. I have a masterclass up that pinned that is all about the magical mindset. A lot of it we've talked about today and getting out of your own way, but that's there for you as well. And then I also will do random channeled messages for people. And then, so if you're into that, you are welcome to join me there as well.
Cool. And I found the Facebook group. When I post this video, I'll make sure to mention that and provide your contact information. So yeah, like Beth said, thank you. But does anyone else on the call have questions? We're right on time. I like to wrap it up a couple minutes early to be respectful of everyone's time. No, you just explained it so well. There's no questions.
Awesome.
But
you guys are amazing. You've got really good energy in this group. So just build on it.
Good. I love it. And like you said, like this was up Beth's alley, but it wasn't necessarily up mine. Like it wouldn't have been someone like I would have chosen to, tune into your Sirius station, but I'm glad I did. And I'm excited to kind of look into it more. I'm hearing comments. Jamaica says thank you as well. So
you're welcome.
Thank you guys so much. And that'll conclude our speaker meeting for today. Everyone have a great day.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right. Bye.